It's another great weekend, and it's my pleasure to welcome you to StandPoint, TVC's weekly review of trending national issues. My name is Dakbo Aruajoye. Now, as we speak, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, is holding the rescheduled legislative rerun elections in 1,840 polling units spread across 23 local government areas of Rivers State. The bulk of the voting today will be in 7 local government areas of Andonai, Akukutoru, Boni, Eche, Ikwere, Kana, and Gokana. Following anxiety over violence in the state, the Inspector General of Police, Ibrahim Idris, announced the deployment of 28,000 policemen for the election. According to reports, the rerun election is experiencing a massive and peaceful turnout of voters in most of the polling units, except for a report of snatching of electoral materials by hoodlums in Unit 3, Ward 9 of Ogu in Ogubolo local government area of the state. I will look into the situation today surrounding the Rivers rerun election here in the studio, so we critically analyze what's going on today. And don't forget, you can also join the conversation by calling in when the phone lines are opened. My name is Dakbo Aruajoye. When we return from the break, I will introduce my guest. In the studio today, I have Comrade Raji Rashid. He's the National Coordinator of Movement for Democratic Change, MDC. Thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you.
And on my right hand side, I have Mr. Shola Omolayo. He's a friend of the house, and thereabout is a policy analyst, a social commentator. Thank you very much for joining us.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Let me start with you, Mr. Omolayo. What's your take about what is happening in Rivers State? 23,000 policemen for just this election. How many gunboats? Maybe above 20 gunboats, 3 helicopters. And even these 23,000 is even more than the policemen deployed to Ondo and even Edo election. Is it war or election that we got?
Yeah, it's election, a normal election, and the interests of the nation, the interests of the people, the interests of the individual, the interests of the political party, the interests of the generality of the world are in it because of the resources that is Rivers State that has been there since 1958. So you don't just think we should just take it lightly like every other election in some areas. And it's a battle of the Titan. So
The battle of the Titan, indeed.
that is what we're about to see.
Okay, we have our correspondent, Carl Ofoye, to give us updates of what is happening over there. Hello, Carl.
Yeah, good afternoon.
How are you? Dakbo here. How's it going over there?
River State as dramatic as ever. We are seeing a reenactment of 2015 governorship debacle in the River State. This morning, we set out early, went to Omagwa, the distribution center. Things were going on normal, and the security agents were fully on ground, ensuring that results were, materials were distributed, and they escorted them to the various locations. And we followed some of them to some wards and units to monitor the distribution and actual commencement of accreditation and voting. So at Ubima, because that was the situation, of course, you know that the two major actors in this election is Governor Wike and his FY Governor of Rivers State, Rotimi Amechi. So we went to Amechi's hometown, Ubima, where we monitored the election there. Virtually all the units, except two units. No materials have not arrived. The security agents that escorted the material down to the community where there are no policemen on ground to receive them. So they say they will not drop the materials because the moment they drop it without security agents on ground. Of course, you know what will happen to those materials. So they went to any unit they found that the security agents were on ground, they will drop the material for them to commence voting. So the unit in front of former governor's place, there was no security agents there, even though he has his own security activists who followed him to his house because we were there before he arrived. So, but because those people that received the materials were not there, they couldn't drop the materials. They went patrolling and dropping in other locations. When they eventually came back, and there were three security policemen on ground and some the soldiers standing at a distance. They now dropped the materials. Then the people that have been waiting since morning, they thought the election was to commence, only for the party agents to demand that they want to see the APC party agents. Are you there?
Yeah, yes.
Demanded to see the result sheet, and they must not explain. And they brought the form, and they signed that. The form showed that he signed the material. All the materials to him were signed. But the result sheets were missing.
Okay.
So the APC agent said that they cannot commence voting without the result sheet. But the PDP agent said, okay, while they were still looking for a result sheet, that they can commence accreditation. But the man from the other side refused, and there was commotion. The governor came out and asked what was happening. That is the former governor.
Former governor,
asked what was happening. He waited, he couldn't utter a word, and he drove off.
So he did not vote?
Yeah, he couldn't vote. He drove to somewhere. He said, okay, since you people are not ready, let me go to Eden and come back. He went, we kept busy there waiting. He went, came back. As we speak now, even right as we speak, he has returned. He just returned a few minutes ago. Asked what is the situation, the result you see. He said, okay, maybe they will start accreditation. But his agents on ground, that is the APC agent, said it's dangerous for them to start voting without the result sheet. So that is where we are now. They're about fighting. I can see them come. I just secluded myself here to reduce noise.
Well, but with 23,000 policemen, so you don't even have like one or two in that police unit?
Yes. No, but the police are back now. They are here now.
Okay.
What I explained later was as at the time they brought the materials when they were brought initially, there were no policemen to ensure their security, so they couldn't drop it, and they went to other units. So as we speak now, New Lubima is only 3 units that was 2 units that we saw voting taking place. Other units, no materials have not been distributed. Right, the one in front of Amechi's former governor's place, that is having this commotion now because the people insisted that the APC agent said they can allow the voting when the result sheets are not available.
So far,
you know the funny aspect of it.
Okay.
The fence demarcating Amechi's place from that of his cousin, a former governor, Celestino Mejia. There is a polling unit there too. He is of the opposing camp. He is of the PDP. Why Amechi is of the APC? There is no. The materials have not arrived. The people are waiting. They've not seen the material because no policemen there to receive it. Though the people that escorted the material were there when they brought it and nobody to receive it, then they went back.
Okay. Did you hear about the ballot paper snatching in Ogu?
No, I have not heard of that.
Okay.
But where we are now, fighting here and there, but the security men are ensuring that no life will be lost at the moment. So, yes, when they grabbed a man who was insisting that this of the PDP stuff, they were almost lynching him, but the soldiers rescued him, scared away all that with gun and kept the guys. The guys sat down and they were.
Okay, but it's been peaceful. It's been peaceful, right?
It's been peaceful. They've been calming them, but you see pockets of violence here and there.
Yeah, and there. Okay. All right then. Thank you so much, our correspondent there, California. Okay, let me go to you now, Kamaraji Rashid. What do you think? So far, it's been peaceful. Is it because of the too much policemen in the state?
Actually, it may not be on connection to the presence of the large number of police, military, and some other security personnel. But I think it's high time the people of Niger Delta think twice. Elections today, you have to see beyond today.
Is it Niger Delta alone or Nigeria generally?
It's about Niger Delta. For some of us that have monitored election there, 1999 I was in Delta State, 2003 I was in Delta State, and the experience is almost the same thing. Because election is like, it's a war. So when you even experience a peaceful election in Niger Delta, it's more or less like this is a new beginning. But there's so much noise about two gladiators in River State, Amechi and Wike. Pride is involved. But when you look at what is at stake, the real people of the River State are not going to benefit from this election. Let's look at it that way. Common man stand to get nothing from this election.
Why did you say so?
Those people that want to vote, they are going to Abuja. Will they come back and affect their life positively? Look at even the time frame. By the time they saw it in less than 2 years, these people only go in there to enrich themselves, not to serve the purpose of which they have been voted for. So sometimes you look at it, is there any need for all that? Recently, there was a House of Representative election in Fakojaye. A lot of people boycotted it because they don't see any need for that.
Because they just go there and
They just go there and serve their own interests.
Okay.
Not the interest of the masses.
Of the masses. I'll come back to you. Let me get Mr. Mulayo talking also. Did you hear what he said? Because at the end of the day, there's people think there's no point. These people are just, the politicians are they're a bunch of the same, right? At the end of the day, they drink champagne together. But when it comes to election, they let the people just fight themselves.
There's a difference between politician and political. We have politicians who are politicians, and we have businessmen who are in politics. It's a different ball game. Politicians have not been participating in the so-called election, because when you talk of politicking, it comes with a kind of ideology, and they pursue the ideology that connotes the interests of the people. But when you find businessmen in politics, it's a different ball game. And since Babangida, who is the anchor of the kind of politics we are practicing today, introduces these businessmen into politics, you cannot be too far from this kind of a result. And when you say the people are not benefiting from the political dispensation that we are having now, the question is, the people you are talking about, are they part of the system of the politicking? No, because they are not investing in it. It is what you invested in. It is what you invest in that you will want to see the proceed of your investment.
But if I voted for somebody, that's
for the
like
fact that you are
investment.
voting never makes any difference. You are just like that person who go watch Liverpool match. For the fact that you go watch Liverpool match, does it mean you are part of the management of Liverpool? You're not. You're not. You're not. You will be a part. It's either you are a contributing fan, either you are part of the marketing system, either you are part of the coaching crew, either you are part of the medical crew, that you put in your time, you put in a kind of a negotiation. Nigeria needs to wake up to begin to put in their interest in the political system. Like the days of old, we will not forget the days of the Asikiwe, the days of Awolowo, the days of Tafa Balewa, where you need to contribute. Every person will have an interest, not in a stage where one man is going to be sponsoring himself, selling his house right before your eyes, and you are doing twirling to such a person. And after election, you are saying you are not getting him. How are you going to get him? He's right before your eyes. He's telling you, in fact, you were the one that brought an agent to sell that property, and he collected that 20 million, and you are part of those who this time you put in a kind of a negotiation. Nigeria needs to wake up to begin to put in their interest in the political system. Like the days of old, we will not forget the days of the Azikiwe, the days of Awolowo, the days of Tafawa Balewa, where you need to contribute. Every person will have an interest, not in a state where one man is going to be sponsoring himself, selling his house right before your eyes, and you are doing twirling to such a person. And after election, you are saying you are not getting him. How are you going to get him? He's right before your eyes. He's telling you, in fact, you were the one that brought an agent to sell that property, and he collected that 20 million, and you are part of those who disbursed the fund. And at the end of the day, you are saying, Nigerians are saying, these guys are criminals. That is why when you curse them, it can affect them, because they negotiated your life for that position.
Did you hear that? That's
actually, that's the fact. Because I normally tell people that you can eat your cake and have it. If we call Nigerians, just like an activist, let's go on the street. Let's revolt against this policy or that. Nigeria don't want to die. I have this, I have that. Fella have said it all. Baba day for house, Mama day for house. I want build house, I want do this. Nigeria are too lackadaisical. Until when Nigerians rise up in unison and fight for that right. We've been calling for people orientations have to change concerning Nigerian politicians, because all these people, like he rightly said, they are businessmen who put in their money and they expect
they've
return.
Negotiated.
Yes, they want
already.
return on their money. But for some of us who believe that this is not the right way of doing things, we hardly have people that follow us. Because let's form a political party. Every month, bring 20 naira. From that 20 naira, we'll campaign. We'll buy all necessary material. Whoever carried our flag on that party is bound to come back to the house and report to us, because he's not the owner of the party. If he refuses, then we can use the process of recalling, because we are together, or we'll call him back or her. But in this system, Baba say, leader said this. Somebody will just say, okay, go and deliver this, go and deliver that, and it's come to be. It's high time we all stop that. And it's quite unfortunate that none of all these political parties are ready to help. Have to be honest with you.
So they are the same.
They are the same.
They're thinking of a mega party now. Do you think they're the same? Are we going to be importing people from?
Who are the people
UK?
calling for mega party? Are they not the same set of people in this business, collaborators call party? Until when we see like-minded people like late Aminu Kano, Awolowo, and the like of Zik, before we can talk about a party.
Do we still have people like that?
We have people like that. Just because when they come out, you hardly support them. Nigeria hardly support them. Let me tell you a scenario. Braithwaite came out to contest presidential election in 1983.
Tunji Braithwaite.
Yeah, Tunji Braithwaite. In his own polling unit in VI, he
lost.
got 3 votes.
Maybe from his wife and somebody else.
Yes. Late Chief Ganifa Emi contested the election in Ondo. In his own Ondo township, he lost everywhere. So what are we talking about? Nigeria don't want the honest and upright people in position. Until we change our orientation, things can never change.
Because it seems we're recycling the same old people.
We will continue to recycle, because we have defeated ourselves. We have not. We don't find time to ask problem. What is the problem? Who are we fighting? We fight those who are willing to defend our cause. Religiously, we fight them. Socially, we fight them. The only accepted one is the economic side. Who owns the money? In this country, somebody came up who believed in the new dispensation of our generation. In person of Reverend Christopher Okotie. Right in this country, everybody
Of the Fresh Party.
of Fresh Democratic Party, from Justice Party to Fresh Democratic Party, both the media, everybody come against him. Most especially the religious body. I'm not talking of the faithful, Faith is quite different from your religion.
Yes, yes.
Your belief is a different thing. But the religious body, most especially
The Christian.
his own constituency,
Christian.
they started preaching what is a man of God doing in politics. Good language. So, men of Satan, continue. It's either you are here or you are there. We destroy ourselves. Finding you see a reputable person, clean, who think in your own ways of life. You say, what is a man of God doing in politics? So, men of Satan,
We should
I
continue.
know.
Did you hear Tuji Braithwaite got 3
So,
votes in
you
his own
can
unit
imagine Gani Fawemi, a crusader
of human rights?
of right thinking, right movement, lost in the whole federation. But when he died,
Oh, yeah.
our man has gone.
A lot of people celebrated him.
You understand? So, don't blame these guys who are manipulating us. Yes, who started this whole wahala to the doorstep of our former amiable, honorable military head of state, president, our father, retired and tired, in person of Gbadamosi Babangida.
But some people will argue Obasanjo
Oh,
is part
you
of
see,
it. Because
you see,
the do or die,
No.
if you Google the do or die politics now, Obasanjo.
You see, people always want to, they enjoy criticizing themselves. If you want to go to a party, why don't you go there naked or go there dirty? The party is a do or die. Going to party, ceremonious party. I'm not talking of election. It's a do or die thing. You will polish your shoe. If they don't polish it well, is it not a do or die? If the guy did not polish it well, you slap the boy that go and repolish this shoe because of the party I'm going. Is it not do or die? You look for a fine clothes. You say, Ashaile Yoda, get me this one because this party is it not do or die? What is not do or die? Politics is about winning. Anything that is going to be contested for is going to be a do or die thing. Is it because is the president saying it? If Liverpool and which of the team that they have rivaled that much?
Let's say Chelsea.
Oh, Chelsea and Arsenal, Chelsea, Manchester.
But it seems you like Liverpool.
Eh? No, I just want to bring it down.
It seems that you're a Liverpool fan.
I've been using Chelsea and Arsenal in some program. So let me leave that. But come to think of it, Chelsea, Arsenal, even those who have never seen Nigerian players before, if you see the way they will be dying, it's somebody who is older than almost your father. You'll be calling him Omome. And you will see that night of the match is going to be a do or die. This is a game that is just going to be celebrated. You are not going to be given anything. In fact, the players, they don't know you. The coach knows something about you. Some of them don't even know the location of Nigeria in Africa. And yet, you'll be preparing tonight.
The people stab themselves.
And they stab themselves.
Yes.
Killing themselves. To talk of politics that is going to involve money.
Okay, let me, because getting it from there, really, because people are saying, why do you have to kill or get killed because of politics? It doesn't make sense.
It's part of ignorance, serious ignorance, because most of these people that are contesting, you don't see their children. Yeah. It's only when the security is okay that you see their wife. When it's tough, you don't see their wife there. Talk less of their children. Most of their children attended private school. When they are sick, they go to private hospital. When they're traveling outside, most of the time they use private jet. It's only the common man that use everything that has to do with general. That's why they call some hospital general hospital. They call some school public school. And when you talk about public school and general hospital, they're almost the same thing. Everybody can hardly go there, even when there's no drug, even when there's no books, when there's no library in the school, when the structure is dilapidating, the roof is leaking. But where their children go is well-endowed environment, security, everything is in place. But the common man has failed to understand that It cannot continue this way. Why do you have to enslave yourself for people that care less about you? They don't care about you. They don't have your interest. Why do you have to think that you can kill yourself because of that?
Because this election should have should be a thing of the past, postponed and
Over and over.
and over and over.
You see, a river Rerun election, this is the second time, I think so. It's because of people have been giving some money. Take 20,000, take 50, take 100. And they want to justify that amount of money. So in giving you 20,000 naira, there's a raffle to go with it.
That might cost one's life.
Yes. So when you are giving money and you are giving gun, it's meant for a purpose. Let me tell you this. In 1983, there was this set of people that empower young men and make uniform of mobile police for them in this Lagos state. And they were giving gun. And they bought buses, van, gave it to them. So they were moving around from one polling unit to the other. Whatever they want must come to pass.
It's unfortunate.
So, and it still continues.
Okay, let's get an update of what is going on in Rivers, because we have our correspondent Uche Okoro on the line now. Uche, how's it going there? Hello, Uche. Uche Okoro, are you there? Uche, okay. Maybe when you hear us later, we'll get across to you. Let's come to INEC now. Do you think, because the last time our correspondent was talking to us, Carlo Foyen, he said we had an instance of where the report result sheet did not come, and the people saying the result sheet did not come, so they cannot vote. Do you think, as at now, that INEC, can you give a pass mark to INEC? Talking about Ondo election and Edo election, that's been the back-to-back now.
You see, when it comes to the issue of INEC, I still want to, like Balagi will say, I want to step aside to be watching from afar because I don't know what is really going on in that institution. Why? So many interests are involved. And the anchorman, who is the party chair, the chairman of INEC, I don't think he really get himself prepared
For the job.
Because by now he has a soft landing through Jega.
Jega.
And I believe that he ought to have been working with. Maybe it is about the financial side of it that it has been constraining them, or the technical part of the whole thing. Because I believe by now we should not be talking about one sheet is not reported. And for Roti Amechi to say, come on, get the sheet before we start the game, because that was the beginning of the Wahala in Rivers State. They understand the game, they know how this is being played. Get the fact that these two people, these two gladiators are from the same network. They grew together. So when they parted ways, they know where the
power lies.
So whenever you want to unlock any of the padlock, let's see the key first before we move together. They understand it. That is why I'm telling Nigerians that, look, the election is not about the legislative house. It's about supremacy. Whoever wins to this election is going to be in charge of
Rivers State.
Rivers State, because it is obvious. And Wike is going to fight his life out, either you like it or not, because whoever controls this the house today will determine the state of Insu Wike. There is no doubt about it. This
maybe something that happened. Remember what happened in the house then? That you had them chasing themselves.
Yes. So we might not have it that wide again, but it's going to be much of the technical side of it. They are going because the system. Understand that every of these people working with Buhari, which is the president of this country, are working with a kind of purity so that they will not be caught in the way. And that is why you see some level of sanity being played.
Okay.
And Wike knows that this guy who is my own friend. We understand the game. He's silencing, he's not tolerating that silencing. That Rotimi Amechi is not talking much, just don't make it seem as if all is well. They know themselves. So he's dragging the people along that. Oh boy, Mona, they follow me. Oh, Mona, they follow me. You understand it? And that guy too is saying, national, let's go and see this. You know, it's like, this is a football game. The number 9.
A technical one.
Yeah, the number 9 and the number 10 must come to the box. And the number 4 and number 5 are saying, we go break your leg here today.
Okay.
So that is the game we are seeing.
All right. Our correspondent is ready now. Uche Okoro. Hello, Uche. How's it going over there?
Come to the box. And the number 4 and number 5 are saying, we go break your leg here today.
Okay.
So that is the game we are seeing.
All right. Our correspondent is ready now. Uche Okoro. Hello, Uche. How's it going over there?
Right now, as you can see behind me, right now at this particular voting area where you have 5 polling units in this particular ward here, Ward 10 of Falga local government, Port Harcourt local government area, voting and accreditation here is on its way to ending. Right now, you can see that, of course, the presiding officers are almost on holiday right now because the exercise so far has been peaceful here and it's on its way to ending. But certainly this election, this rerun legislative election in Rivers State is by no means a perfect election. Certainly not as perfect or as good, in quote, as what we had in Edo State. Certainly it will not be as it would rank as high or score as high as what we've experienced.
What are your reasons? What are your reasons for that, Uche? What are your reasons for saying it's not perfect?
Okay, well, right now I would, from my assessment, and of course an assessment of our correspondents who are in other parts of the state and colleagues who are in other parts of the state. Right now, I've been getting reports of snatching of ballot boxes in some parts of the state. That's one. Of course, somewhere in Ubima community, Ikwere local government area specifically, we've had incidents where the result sheets were absent. Of course, in the particular polling unit of the former governor himself, the minister of course, current Minister of Transportation, Chibike Amechi, the result sheet in his area was absent. In other parts of the state, specifically Ogubolo, Gokana, and Okrika local government areas, we've had incidents of political thugs disrupting the process at the polling units. Also, prior to election day proper, and of course even early this morning, the activities of these political thugs also prevented the free movement of electoral materials and personnel from the registration area centers down to the polling units. Now that led to late arrival of materials in many polling units in the state, and of course, if materials arrive late, voting and accreditation was definitely bound to commence late. So while voting and accreditation is rounding up at this particular voting area here where I am, the exercise is either yet to start in many other parts of the state. Also, the exercise is yet to commence in many areas, while the exercise is still ongoing in some areas. Of course, many other polling units in the state, from reports we are getting, they are still expecting, of course, the electoral officials and the materials to arrive. So while we can say so far so good, it has definitely not been as largely violent as what we had on March the 19th. Certainly it won't come out to be a perfect election like many have said it was in Edo and on those states recently. It will be a far cry from what we've had in the two states.
Okay, I'm just wondering, how is it possible that these hoodlums get to the polling unit, snatch ballot boxes or ballot papers, and when we have like 23,000 policemen in a state, just in one state? So how is it possible? Is it that the policemen look at one side and let the boys take over?
Well, the point is, many of these incidents, many of these reports that we've had about snatching of ballot boxes, the policemen have intervened, of course, but unfortunately, the deployment of security personnel was unable to forestall it. What we've rather had was that the policemen have been reacting rather than preventing all these cases where what we've had, like what happened in Rumigbo. Of course, I believe I believe you would have visuals of that already. What happened was many of these political thugs were approaching the polling unit to disrupt the process, and then the police intervened. So what has been happening is that even though we had a large deployment of security personnel at the polling units themselves, these young men have been able to, successfully overpower those you have on ground at the polling units. Many of those who have been many of the security agencies who have been able to intervene are those ones on patrol, those ones who are called for reinforcement. So what I would suggest, I would also suggest still what I suggested earlier for those policemen on patrol to beef up their patrols across many of these polling units. But I must also add very importantly that the security situation that the deterioration that we're experiencing may turn out to be the least of our concerns. I say that because so far many of the polling units that I have visited, and it has been almost impossible to speak to the voters themselves to ask them how the process is going. It's been almost impossible to approach a voter.
Why?
And I'll tell you the reason.
Okay.
The reason is that, for instance, in this particular polling unit where I am, you see a voter casting his vote, and you're waiting for him to be done as a journalist to approach him to ask him how the process is going. And immediately he finishes casting his vote, you see one of the party agents or a particular party agent now directing this voter to a certain area where these voters are paid. Now, the implication of that is that, and I also saw that happen, was that immediately these voters come into the polling units, certain party agents begin to coerce them to vote for their parties, which is quite unfortunate. I say it's also unfortunate because this is happening under the watchful eyes of the security agencies.
So what do
now,
they do? They just stand.
I personally witnessed.
So what did the security agents do? They just stand and watch?
Well, unfortunately, yes. I must tell you, I will give kudos to the security agencies for quick intervention in flashpoints in areas that have turned out to prove stubborn. I will give them kudos for that. But where I think the police would receive knocks or other security agencies is that they are allowing this go on unchecked. So this is happening right under the watch. Look around you, all around me right now, there are security agencies. But if you look closely, you would see that these voters are being coerced to vote for their parties. As I talk to you, I personally witnessed more than one or two or three cases where voters were actually given, I saw money exchange hands. Now, this is, I can tell you these amounts are not exceeding 1,500 naira. Of course, they are squeezed into the hands of these voters. And these voters are happily, eagerly, many of them, of course, actually eagerly selling their votes. It's quite unfortunate that the security agencies here are allowing that go unabated. But of course, they are doing their best to intervene when, of course, the security situation suggests as though it's going to degenerate. So right now, I think a call should go out to all security agencies there, to of course to nip this issue of coercing voters to vote for their parties, and of course monetization, huge monetization of the process. I think in the long run, as someone who has been on the ground in this state, monetization of this election is going to largely affect however the election is going to turn out in the end when results are announced.
Okay, Uche, I just want to add, who are those boys around? Because they're loitering, a lot of people loitering around. I thought they would just vote and go to their houses.
Well, that's the situation here. Look, I can bet you that I've had a very hard time trying to identify who is a voter in this place, because almost everybody just seems like somebody who came here to cause trouble. And those who have been able to actually identify as voters, when they are approaching the voting points, the actual polling units to cast their votes, these party agents immediately approach them and begin to coerce them to cast their votes for their parties. And if they comply, immediately after casting their votes, they are directed to a corner where they are giving money. That's actually what's going on all around me right now, as you can see. But right now it's beginning to rain, so you can see people trying to reach for cover right now, because it has actually just begun to rain.
All right,
so
I will let you
go out to all security agencies to ensure that they nip this in the bud.
I will release you. It will be very unfair of me to let you stay under the rain. I'll talk to you later, okay?
All right, thank you very much.
All right, then. Thank you so much, Uche.
All right.
Did you hear that? Yesterday I was speaking to someone. He said in some places like Ondo, during the last election, he said, Dibo, Kosebe. That's you vote
and you get money to cook. A pot of soup.
We'll talk about that, but we need to go on a short break. And when we come back, the conversation continues. Don't go anywhere, please. You're welcome back. You're still watching StandPoint. And before we went to break, I was going to go to Comrade Raji. And the question again is, why is it that people sell their vote easily? Because nowadays, I told you about Diboko. People nowadays, they see and buy. You see, and you now pay more.
Gani Yafiji.
That's bad.
It's as bad as the situation we find ourselves now. The economy is bad because we have sold our conscience for just 1,000 naira, 2,000 naira. For some, it's 10,000 naira. For others, it's higher than that. But in a situation whereby, just like my colleagues mentioned, that the politicians, they are more like businessmen now.
The ones we have now.
So they have the money to throw around because they are sure that they're going to recruit their money in the system. So they can go to anywhere, any length, and get the money. Vote for me, take 2,000. Vote for me, take 5,000 naira. When they are being sworn in, they do whatever they like.
That's why they don't
care about us. They don't care about us. Like recently, there was this unconfirmed story in Ifakojaye that the man, they forced on us. There's an arrangement that is 60-40.
Those the 60 was 40.
So those who imposing will collect 60, whereby 40 will be given to him. But these are kind of things. That was people are being discouraged. And I just pray that Nigerians will wake up from their slumber and think otherwise. All these political parties cannot solve our problem because they are money bags. They use the money to get whatever they want. And getting there, they do whatever they want. Not what we want, Nigerians. And we still have a long way to go as far as politics is concerned.
We have a long way to go. Did he, the Boko Sobe, it's so embarrassing. So if you don't...
It's not embarrassing.
It's not?
No.
Okay.
It's not embarrassing. I keep saying an hungry man is an angry man. How would you justify somebody that has not seen 1,000 naira for the past 3 weeks, and you suddenly show up and you say, take this 3,000 naira as old as you are and jump 40 times. Even if you can't jump up to 20 times, you will attempt it. That's just it. The people are hungry. Why are we crying? It's because there's hunger everywhere. The psyche of the people has been doctored by the military.
And morally demented.
Yes. So what are you saying here? They don't even know the right from wrong anymore. The word democratic institution is not even well known. Those who ought to educate us on how to go are not just there. In those days, I keep saying it, in those days, in the 80s and in the 70s, in the 80s, before the 90s, the elderly men who are in the villages will ask you, hey, your mommy, who do we vote for? Who do you think is the right person? Because they know you are the ones that knows it all. You are the one that are in the universities, the polytechnics.
The enlightened one.
The enlightened one, the ones who are preparing for their own future. So these elderly men begin to ask you, what did you see that we have not seen? Because we go to work, we don't have time to really get the letters of the newspapers. But you that are there now, you that will be coming out to look for a job, you that will be coming out to venture into all kinds of institutions, what do you think about the new leader? But today,
It's missing.
today, it's even the old ones that are telling us who to vote for. That is the problem. The right person. Because they know you are the ones that knows it all. You are the one that are in the universities, the polytechnics.
The enlightened one.
The enlightened one, the ones who are preparing for their own future. So these elderly men begin to ask you, what did you see that we have not seen? Because we go to work, we don't have time to really get the letters of the newspapers. But you that are there now, you that will be coming out to look for a job, you that will be coming out to venture into all kinds of institutions, what do you think about the new leader? But today,
It's missing.
today, it's even the old ones that are telling us who to vote for. That is the problem. And not until when we begin to find a generation who can wake up to responsibility to say, this is what we want. Go and ask somebody who is just out of university. Ask him, about the local government. That is not what is wrong with me. You can imagine the psyche of a degree holder, the leader of today, that is being referred to
as a leader of tomorrow.
Tomorrow. When this group of people started leading us, this cycle started leading us. They started from the age of 20, 22,
Yes.
30, 35,
The Goans of this world.
the 40. The David Mark of this world became governor of his state at the age of 26, 27. And all of this group of people who ought to be the leaders of the past remaining the leaders of today. When you find a group of so-called educated fools discussing Arsenal and Chelsea, and you are telling me such a person we know what to do on election day? Somebody who is discussing, and even the system is not helping this generation. You rather dance and dance very well and get 10 million naira. And somebody who goes for a quiz competition will be given 50,000 naira. You rather go for an ultimate search and get 7 million naira with a latest 2017 car to somebody who is to go into a research and he can't even get 100,000 naira. You rather put somebody who ought to have retired, who has retired as a footballer, on a big ball and pay him or her 10 million naira than to educate or build a school or republish a school. So what are you saying? You are telling this generation that your certificate, your education doesn't really matter.
It's fabulous.
You rather sing and be brand for a period of years with 40 million naira with a car than that lady who took time to go and learn fashion designing or tailoring or mechanic. That is the problem we have. So with this, giving them money is not a big deal. What is Rivers State doing? What are they getting out of Rivers State? And the land has been polluted. So it's either you're a politician who are part of the 13% sharing, or you are acquainting to be part of those who are sharing the money so that you can get some peanuts. Or else, if you can lose this money that are going to be given today, you might not be able to get it anymore. But the question is, do they deserve it?
They don't, because
these leaders are so rich. They are so rich to a point that they don't even need the money. What they are fighting for is pride, self-exaltation, and enough security. Not about the people, not about the system. They are looking for what they can get on the land, not what they can achieve from the people. The spirit that is affecting our age is what I call Esau spirit. Give me the porridge. I don't care what will tomorrow be.
You know what? Because they said the politicians are so rich, and it reminds me because I was watching the Senate plenary one day, and they were wishing some people a happy birthday. You know what they said? A long life and good health. They deliberately removed the prosperity because they are made already.
They know.
It's not long life and prosperity. It's long life and good health. And you see, let me add this also, because maybe you watched TVC of recent. Did you see how many guns that were mopped just for these few, maybe this quarter? It's a quarterly mop up thing now. You remember the ones that were mopped up the last time they were taken from militants? These ones are cultists. You see now, because it's damning, because you give guns to a generation, somebody that it's sad. Somebody that should be the president or the governor at the age of 30-something, you give the person a gun and maybe like 3,000 naira to go and kill people.
You see, the problem is this. Money is not that problem. There's an adage in Yoruba that is, these people have earned more than enough and they are for meeting in the same spot. That's how rich they are. They acquire so much wealth that everywhere there's money on the floor. And the problem is this. They will pray for security and long life.
Because they need security.
Because they need security.
They want to spend the money.
They are not free. Like me and you, we can move around freely. They cannot do that. So that's why they are fighting for these offices, so that they can continue to use all the security outfits.
So after wealth, they seek power.
They seek power.
Is that why you see them when they leave, when former governors now become senators? Is that the reason?
Yes.
Because
they want to
still need the
continue
power.
in that system. Because once they're out of that system, they are nobody.
A retired governor will become a senator.
That's the rot in the system. Look at how many governors are in the Senate now.
Yes.
How many senators will move to governor in the next dispensation? You see, it's endless. David Mark doesn't want to quit Senate. Even from Senate president to floor member.
He doesn't mind.
If I'm the one that could resign, let somebody else go there.
And I've not heard from him in a long time.
Because what do you expect him to say? At his age, to be ordinary member of a Senate, where you have controlled the affair for almost 8 years. So what else do you want in life? Can't you retire back to your home and enjoy your life? But they are not safe, because they've given gun to thousands of people in that same community who are not happy with them. If they go back home now without the police, soldiers and everything, those boys will turn their face on them and kill them. So that's why they fear. Most of them hardly go back to their constituency except they prepare. Security must have given them a report that we have already come everywhere is safe. Otherwise, they remain in Abuja. Let me tell you this. 90% of Nigerian politicians in the last 17 years own property in Lagos. Then the remaining 10 and some other out of 90% own property in Abuja. You know why? Abuja and Lagos is safe. You can't come from Anambra and be chasing me in a VI, because the road network, the security is up to par. Unlike going to a village, it's like going to Lion Den. That's why the money is there. They acquire property in Lagos and Abuja, London, Dubai, America, everywhere. So when they are supposed to be with their kinsmen in the village, they travel abroad, they remain in Lagos. They hardly go back to the community because they've destroyed the whole system in the village. How will you acquire gun and give gun to 20, 25, 30 years old graduate who are the future of today, who's supposed to be in university, still working on one research or the other, who's supposed to be in one company, trying to initiate another idea that will bring succor to Nigerians? We have a lot of brain that can turn desert to something else.
To money.
To money. But you see, the cheap money from politicians have made them lose their brain.
Because you can see all those young boys, the ones I saw at the back of Correspondent the other time. I was wondering, what are these young boys doing around?
They are jobless. The factory that's supposed to take them, they have closed down. Let's even look at this. Look at the old Niger Delta. How many companies do we have in Niger Delta? How many factories do we have in Niger Delta? The whole Niger Delta as a whole. Petrochemical in Warri, in Port Harcourt.
As we round up.
These are companies. I mean, these are petrochemicals that are supposed to produce another 20, 30 companies that will process the byproduct.
Yes.
Within that facility.
You can do engine oil, you can do
so many things. Bedroom slippers, so many things.
Yes.
But where are they today? The petrochemical is not even self-sustaining. Talk less of other company, factory, industry that are supposed to rely on their byproduct. So these are problems that you have a lot of jobless people in Niger Delta.
Mr. Amalayo, we're rounding up. We have some seconds to go. As Yoruba proverb says, the house that you use pitch to build is the dew that will destroy it. I think the politicians should have that at the back of their mind. The boys that you give guns today might be the ones to kill you tomorrow.
They are businessmen. They are businessmen. In time, they might choose not to contest anymore. Once they have enough, they can choose not to contest. But my words to the people of Rivers State and the whole of Nigeria is for us to begin to study this group of individuals and ask questions that do they deserve our sweat? Do they deserve our blood? Do they deserve our life? And if they don't deserve any of this thing, that you know they don't, because your life is your life. I want you to look at it this way. In Lagos State, in the past, The same man, Koro, who is in PDP today, was part and parcel of the family of the AD that involves that now got a different path. And those who suffered in those period of time, some of them might still be in jail today. This same group of people have forgotten them. You should know that when you are going out with them, you should be smart. Don't get yourself destroyed because of this individual. Because when the chiefs are down, they won't even remember. Let me take you to Osun State.
Briefly.
In those days, in the days of old, Oyinlola and Aregbe, they were
arch enemy.
each other's neck, like heaven is going to tear apart. People were killed, some were jailed, some were wounded, and these two people, they are friends today. They are the family of those who were killed were the one bearing the pain. So you should understand this group of people. In those good old days, finally, the CPC of old, and the PDP of old, and the AFPP of old, and the AC of old, at the end of the election, at that time, hold each other's neck like they will never see each other again. Some died in the process. Those who lost their life, their families are the ones bearing the pain, and these ones, today, they are together as family. So, know this for sure. If you are hearing us at any point in time, either now, because after this, we are going to be having the Ekiti election come 2017 or 18 before 2019, get it to your head that your life should not be laid down for these people. Right. God bless Nigeria.
Thank you so much. On that note, I have to say thank you, Mr. Shola Omalayo, and also Raji Rashid. Thank you, gentlemen, for coming. And thanks for being part of the program today. And let's do it again at same time next week. I do have a great weekend. I'm Dakbo Aruwajoye. Bye for now. God bless Nigeria.